Take a knee. Take a knee.
Put your hands up, take a knee, buddy. Put your hands up, take a knee, guys. Take a knee, buddy.
A powerful moment in the streets of Toronto today. The city's police chief taking a knee and raising a fist in a moment of solidarity with protesters marching against anti-black racism and police brutality. Welcome to City News. Chief Saunders told demonstrators that Toronto police will work with them to make change. That promise coming as thousands marched peacefully down Yonge Street, honoring Black lives lost at the hands of police.
We originally gathered as a march for solidarity to those lives lost, not only to systemic racism, but also to unfortunate cases of police brutality and killings. And it evolved into a way that we can hope to create communication between our community and our civic leaders.
I'm out here for my kids. I've seen generation after generation that the shift has not changed. I have good friends and family who are police officers, and it's time that we hold the bad ones accountable. We can't lump them all into one evil organization. We have to make sure they hold each other accountable, therefore keeping the people safe, which is their job to begin with. Shout out to my kids because I don't want them to have to march like this in 10 years from now.
And though today's protest was peaceful, Toronto businesses clearly preparing for the worst. These boards, which are meant to protect against damage and looting, have been put up for the past few days on businesses all along Yonge Street. This in anticipation of additional protests set to happen this weekend. Not Another Black Life, who organized last weekend's peaceful march, have confirmed they are not organizing or affiliated with any protests happening this weekend. Black Lives Matter Toronto is also distancing themselves, tweeting they have no involvement in the organizing of any of this weekend's upcoming actions and marches. But when and where they're happening and who is behind them is causing confusion online and on social media, some urging protesters not to attend for fear of riots. Still, businesses are bracing themselves. Long stretches of Yonge Street up to Yorkville all boarded up, even though police have not given business owners the directive to do so, and neither has the Yonge BIA.
You know, based on the information that we've received from a credible source, we've been able to pass that information on to members, and members have to mitigate their own risk based on potential damage to their property.
Police are experienced in dealing with massive gatherings. Just last year, the Raptors championship win bringing out thousands flooding the streets all night into the early hours. But preparations of this scale is something security expert David Hyde says the city has not seen for some time.
We go back to G20 and some of the protests along those lines, that really the last time we saw something on this magnitude. What the police are concerned about is the people around the fringes and the edges who may want to steal the narrative, who may want to loot the stores, who may have their own agendas.
Hyde says those types of groups would already be on law enforcement's radar, saying they would be monitoring social media and even the dark web for intelligence. For those people who are thinking of coming out this weekend, is it safe for them?
Well, this is one of the greatest cities in the world, one of the safest urban cities in the world, and I hope that as Torontonians, we all have to collectively be responsible for what happens, and by and large, most Torontonians are good. As always, there may be a percentage of those that are here for other agendas, and we ask that everyone cooperates, and if you see people like that, please record it, send it to us, and we'll deal with it.
We've seen many interactions with police being recorded on phones in the States. Do you think that's informing how they're going to approach this weekend versus how they may have done it at G20?
Yeah, you know, I think that's just a reality. And much as the police would like to say that, no, it makes no difference and they're going to be the same whether they're being recorded or not, human nature just suggests that's not the case. I think that it's become more important now than ever to really focus on the actions of the police. And it's not just what the police do, but it's what the police are seen to do that in these times is just so critical.
Now, Mayor John Tory earlier today did acknowledge protests that could be happening this weekend. He said that the city is committed to making change. He also pointed out that body cams on police officers, which has been long discussed, will actually be given the final approval at the police board meeting in July, and police officers should be wearing them by the fall.